Hey everybody, I'm here with Sean. We're going to be revisiting the age-old question, is water bad for you?
Now, Andrew's already answered this question, so we're going to see how truly bad water can be.
And ever since the first experiment, I've been in constant fear of water. So we're going to be using this opportunity as exposure therapy. So let's get right into it as we ponder the question, is water bad for two? Now to start us off, one experiment I didn't try in the first one was how bad acidic water is in comparison to normal water. So I have this acid water right here that Sean's gonna drink.
Let's get to it.
Well, that went great. We can definitely see the acid water is worse.
Yeah, obviously. Andrew, you know what I found in your ingredient cabinet?
What? What?
This.
No.
We're gonna have you drink this, buddy boy.
Wait, what? Actually? No.
Yeah.
Wait, no, we can't.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. You. Wait, you're afraid of water, right?
Yeah?
How do you shower then?
Now in the last experiment, I tested to see the difference between hot water and cold water. But some people have said that the hot water wasn't hot enough. Some people even alleged that I cheated and put ice in the bottle. Now you can trust me, guys. I would never cheat like that. So to show I'm serious about this, I have this boiling water right here that Sean's gonna drink.
What?
I have this boiling water right here that Sean's gonna drink. Now while Sean drinks that, I have this water that melted from ice. So we're gonna be comparing the results between the two.
You know I can't actually do this, right?
No, it's fine. Alright, Sean's over to the side recovering now, so we can examine our observations. We can definitely see that extremely hot water is worse than colder water. Hey, Sean, you're back.
Yeah, I was too busy healing from third-degree burns. Yeah.
Awesome. Now that Sean's back, another thing we're going to try is flavored water. Now last time I showed that flavored water is awful, so this time we're going to see who can last longest drinking flavored water.
Ah! That wasn't too bad.
Wait, really? Let me try that flavor.
Yeah. We're gonna be testing if lake water is worse than normal water.
So I went out and got some bacteria-filled water from a lake that we're gonna be trying.
That's so murky, bro. We're gonna get a disease from this, bro.
Listen, Sean, I don't know if I could do this anymore. Nothing is working.
Hey, man, that means we just gotta resort to some more extreme measures. Is it working yet?
Alright, well that went about as great as can be expected.
Yeah, it went very well. Yeah.
Alright, now we're on to our last experiment. I managed to extract water from an undisclosed human body that Sean and I are gonna try. Here's your straw.
Oh. I mean, bombs away, I guess. Tastes human-y, for sure.
Well, that went terribly, but we'll probably be fine.
Yeah. So, how's your fear of water? Has it gotten any better or no?
Unfortunately not. We tried all that and nothing is working. That means there's only one thing we can do. Well, you know what they say, in order to get past your trauma, you have to relive it. You know what that means.
Oh yeah. Hey man, you good?
It worked! I did it! I'm no longer in constant fear of water!
How did that work, bro?
Thank you so much! I can finally drink water again!
How did you survive 20 months without water?
Beats me. Well, I guess this is an end of an era. I finally conquered my fear of water.
Well, guess we gotta clean up now.
Yeah? Oh no! A container with liquids in it other than the liquid it was originally intended for! Alright, what's going on here? Oh, I'm no longer afraid of water! What? How? I relived my PTSD and now it's gone! You know that's like not how trauma and PTSD works, right? That's like that doesn't work. Look, I don't know what happened. All I know is I can drink water now. Look, see? Oh wow, that is so weird to see. You know what? I've seen weirder things happen to you, so I'm just not even gonna try and question it.